So while we were fighting for freedom at Freedom Fest and talking about what the power of America is in the world, we also got to see over this last week what it's like to have a tragedy met with a socialist country. How well does it handle it? Well, I'm talking about the devastating earthquakes in Venezuela. If you were watching the news, then this is what you saw.
Heartbreak and devastation in Venezuela as two major earthquakes rocked the capital city of Caracas.
The first quake hit with a magnitude of 7.2. A second quake struck just 40 seconds later, registering 7.5.
The twin quakes were the strongest the country has experienced in more than a century.
Nearly 60,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed.
Rescue operations are continuing in Venezuela with tens of thousands of people still missing.
The police and government didn't help us. We pulled the bodies and survivors out ourselves, along with neighbors and volunteers. We dug through the rubble with our bare hands.
There are hardly any survivors now being found from under the rubble.
The USGS is predicting a staggering death toll.
Over 4,300 people.
The stench here is still overwhelming. It is a combination of smoke, debris, and death.
Search and rescue teams, including one from LA, are now on the ground helping to find the more than 70,000 people reported missing.
The images are astounding and the stories coming out of there. Some people saying the government was just trying to just bulldoze the sites and get rid of it while there was potentially bodies in there. I don't know how much of that is true, but what I do know is wherever there are situations like that, there are some friends of ours that charge right into the middle of it. I'm talking about, we've got never before seen footage from that. Steve Slepcevic, Byron Rogers, and SRP. Here's what they saw when they got there.
All right. Well, we're pushing finally to our aircraft into a zone that is in some of the worst condition of most any place on the planet to try and save lives. Touchdown, Venezuela. Now it's time for the boys to get to work. Right now, we're going to a site that they say is the worst of the worst. You can just see the absolute damage and chaos everywhere.
I can't promise miracles. All I can promise is that I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure that we get to as many people as humanly possible. But last small percentage, we're in the severe, moderate to severe now. Okay? Right. So that's all we have. It's like that little window is closing very fast.
There's word that some family members or some folks might be still in this wreckage.
She's pregnant and she's hypertensive. She has all the symptoms for preeclampsia. There's nothing that we can do yet. She has to go to the hospital.
You guys in there?
Yeah, we just left one site. There were several bodies that we recovered, no life finds, and now we're off to the next building. Percentages are starting to drop hour by hour of the potential for finding life, but we're not quitting. We're working through the night. This is a nonstop effort.
We found 2 bodies. You did? So now we're gonna extract them and set up like a rope system.
The husband has been working for 4 days to find them, and he finally found them.
This little girl's right inside that. So we have a mom and 3 kids. You want to do very delicately how you move around the body. You don't want to dismember the body. I want us to be as a group. We look at it and then we decide how we move it. Okay, I'm going to show you over here. So right now he's confirming the placement of the child. Seeing if we could extricate her, which is a difficult task because you're looking at an unstable structure. And what does he need to free her from the building?
There's a process to respectfully handle the body. It's the inevitable fact that happens in these situations.
Okay, this is your window of opportunity. Just trust me. You went and looked at all the other buildings. This is the highest probability right now. Anywhere. Hey, Mike, hey, Mike, over here. You need to move this body.
But right now we're in a transition.
from rescue to recovery, so we can have 24-hour work on pilots, but there's so many of them that it's overwhelming.
Sí, dos personas en el sótano, okay? Two people in the basement, in the base.
So let's go there. Let me explain something to you. This is how it works. There's no jurisdiction.
No.
It's saving lives.
Let's go.
So let's just walk in there.
Can you turn on your radio?
It's in God's hands. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for showing up in a big way.
Everybody's tired, everybody's aching. We've been here all day, all morning, all day, all night. This is where it counts. You're supposed to be a good player now. You're supposed to be a good person now.
Emotions are running high. It's been multiple days. People are seeing their family victims pulled out of the rubble. There was a massive fight breaking out between families and workers and all types of stuff here. But you know how to hold a space. So if you see something that can jeopardize what we're doing, then you know, just
Do what I do.
do what you do.
100%. Do the little pockets that everyone's digging for right now to try to grab the last few people we can before they demo this whole thing. The whole entire city smells like a graveyard. They're asking for the panic. So there may be someone alive coming out of this hole. This may be the last survivor that we find from this. Time to pray.
Thank you very much, guys. You're the best guys ever. Thank you. You do what you say you're gonna do. You inspire us. We never forget all you did for us. So thank you very much, man.
Wow. Well, I'm joined now by Steve Slepcevic and Byron Rogers, our good friends, we're strategic response partners. I mean, amazing watching you guys at work. We really haven't had that deep an opportunity to be with you. Some cameras sharing in that experience, but you know, I went to Haiti when we were with the doctors when that earthquake happened. This reminded me of that, where the buildings just seemed to be dropped like pancakes on top of each other. Just describe, I mean, you go to a lot of things like this. This looked just devastating.
Yeah, this thing rocked us to our core. The wailing of a mom who got out, and then 3 days later, we got the baby out, and she wouldn't let go of the baby, the dead baby, and having one of the search and rescue team members, many of our guys are out of South Florida, pray over her with our nurse. There's just so many heart-wrenching moments, right, where
and I would say, you know, I haven't seen so many of these types of situations. I'm going to be completely honest with you. When we first arrived, you have to fight back the feeling of overwhelm. Right, your senses, just seeing the absolute obliteration of multiple cities, knowing that you can give everything you have and you're going to cover maybe 5%, like 2% of the actual equation. It was one of those situations where you have to just ask God, where do you want me to start? And then you just got to give your best and get to work, because there's so much work that needed to be done, and still there's so much work that has to be done. So, you know, when you start to try to understand the magnitude of the problem, and we worked through the night on multiple occasions, but knowing that we were leaving these sites and these people are watching us get in our vehicles, you know, some of the hardest moments, because that is their new reality. That is what they're dealing with right now.
When you've been in these situations all around the world, how helpful was the government and the system there? Is it designed? I mean, is anyone, I guess, designed to handle something like this? But would you say there's any difference? Should this have happened in America? What are the differences in dealing, you know, in a foreign country like this?
I mean, looking at the fact that a lot of these buildings were built by the Chinese in exchange for oil and gas. The infrastructure of how it was built included foam inserts, styrofoam inserts, not enough rebar. The seismic load isn't there. The first earthquake I worked was 1994 when I got shook out of bed in LA during the Northridge quake. So seeing how poorly these buildings were built, that's one of the biggest failures when they talk about communism, right? And a communist system. But once you take that and you compound it on such a massive scale of an infrastructure that failed, this is a warning also for those in high-prone earthquake zones that, you know, we think our buildings are earthquake-proof. There really is no such thing as earthquake-proof. You have a good, large seismic earthquake, there's going to be a lot of buildings that are going to collapse because of systems and building components that fail. But the response was really poor. We had a big challenge of just getting in and being held back but I don't think they've ever dealt with something at this scale or had an infrastructure or an emergency response system. So really, it was 27 different search and rescue groups from all over the country working on the piles with the community, right? I mean, I've never eaten so much street food in my life. There's, you know, daughters and sons, little kids bringing you coffee at 4:30 in the morning on top of the piles. They could fall through any holes. The building can collapse at any time. It was an extremely risky operation on every level.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to the Venezuelan people, because that's the truth. We were never hungry. We never didn't have coffee. We were brought in and we were allowed to stay at Daniela. You can see her and her mom. We were brought in to stay at their home. The people of Venezuela band together extremely just powerfully, and everyone worked together. It was such a strong community effort, and they kept us fed and watered and plussed up so that we could do the work we were there to get done.
I know you guys are
100%.
planning on heading back there. What are next steps? What is the next part of this? This doesn't end for them, as you said. This is their new reality. But what are the types of things that strategic response partners, what do you do in this stage? What's needed?
Yeah, this is where a lot of these search and rescue teams leave. And this is where the work actually really begins. When all the camera leaves, this is when we really, after the cameras leave, we go to work. We have 3 53-foot tractor trailers that are being loaded with medical supplies, respirators, because tuberculosis is broken out. A lot of people have respiratory issues right now.
Yeah.
The medical system's overloaded. We're also bringing in not only PPEs, gloves, boots, and also tents. There's thousands of people that are living literally on the streets in front of these buildings that still have buried victims in it. They have no place to go. They don't have a job, they don't have food, they don't have water. So bringing in these 4-person tents that run about $400, that keeps them off the ground so that when the rain's coming, it doesn't have their tent flooded with water, keeps them out of the mosquitoes, which are now carrying like dengue fever, typhoid, all the stuff that's coming with these diseases, and the rat infestation, because the sanitation system's just destroyed.
Right.
So that shipment's already on its way. It's being housed at one of our vendors, United Restoration, who's got a massive warehouse, and we have the logistics already out of Opelika aircraft on standby. So those are being loaded onto pallets and being shipped back in there. And we're going back in there because for us, we've created a critical path with a Christian organization to be able to get it through it. And our nurses and our doctors, team of doctors originally from Venezuela, are still boots on the ground, are going to remain there for the duration of it. But our stuff is to do that heavy lift, because there's not enough of us out there to do this. And this is where it's so critical that everyone do what they can to really support these people and get them through the most difficult time of their life right now to get past this point.
I know one of the hardest things in these situations is to figure out what groups to donate to. I know you guys, I know you're in there, I know you're bringing medical supplies. So how do we donate to the work that you're doing? You said you've got a channel in, you're getting things in. What's the best way to donate to that work for everyone watching right now?
Well, as you know, we're extremely resourceful, right? We're pulling in all our resources, all our connections through our hospital networks. And the best way people can support us is to simply go to givesendgo.com/Venezuela. That's how they can donate. They can be their contribution. Even if they donate $400, that houses a family of 4, gets them off the street, keeps their kids and those that are surviving. Many of them lost their entire families, maybe a husband and wife, and just their kids are gone now, or vice versa. The kids are there with an aunt or an uncle. just trying to survive. That's where they're at right now in this moment.
GiveSendGo/Venezuela. I also know, Steve, Byron, you guys, you go in there on your own dime, you dive in, you're putting all of your energy into this. So folks, let's take care of these guys that are charging in. They're really special. I remember the guys in Haiti that just dropped everything, ran in. They're the difference makers. When the rest of us, sit around having fundraisers and talking about it, you guys are the kind of people that just go in and make something happen. We'll stay in touch with you. All the best. Give our prayers to all the families you're in touch with out there, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Del. Thanks for having me. And thank you to your audience for being a big part of this.
Absolutely. All right, take care.